They say silence is the true sound of Siberia. A silence so heavy it feels alive. A silence that can swallow entire villages and erase footprints in minutes. But in that endless white desert, where the cold bites deeper than fear itself, there's something that breaks the silence. Something no one has been able to explain. It begins as a vibration, a delicate tremor in the air, so faint you might think it's your own heartbeat echoing in your ears. But then it grows, layered, harmonic, impossibly human. A choir, a cold, distant choir singing in the middle of a land where no one lives, no one travels, and no one should be. For centuries, locals have whispered about it. The hunters call it the warning. The nomads call it the echo of the dead. And the elders, those who still remember the tales told around fires that barely warm the bones, say it's older than language itself. They talk about nights when the wind suddenly stops, like the world is inhaling. And in that breathless moment, the voices rise, men, women, children, all singing a melody that feels familiar and alien at the same time. A sound so pure and so cold it makes your skin tighten, like the air around you is suddenly thinner. The first foreign account appeared in the diary of a Russian explorer in the 1800s. He wrote about waking up in the middle of the night, convinced he was hearing a church choir. But the nearest church was hundreds of kilometers away. And the sound wasn't coming from a building. It was floating above the frozen valley like fog. He followed it, walking through the snow until the voices became so clear he could distinguish individual tones, deep, resonant basses and fragile, trembling sopranos. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Total silence. The kind of silence that hurts your ears. He ran back to camp, frostbitten and terrified, convinced he had heard the dead calling him. Modern researchers tried to explain it. Some say it could be a phenomenon where wind passes through ice structures, creating tones that mimic human harmony. Others believe it might be geological vibrations traveling across frozen ground. But even the scientists admit that nothing in nature produces a melody with layers, harmonies, rises and falls. Nothing we know. And the recordings, those are the most disturbing part, because the few that exist don't sound like random noises. They sound like intention. They sound like a choir warming up, as if someone, or something, is rehearsing a song meant to be heard. One recording, captured by a team in the early 2000s, lasts only 41 seconds. In those seconds, you can hear at least a dozen distinct voices weaving together in a pattern that repeats 3 times, like a chant. But what unsettled the team wasn't the sound itself. It was the fact that they heard nothing while they were there. The choir was recorded by their equipment, but not by their ears, as if the sound existed for the machines, but not for the humans standing right next to them. People who live near the region refuse to discuss it openly. Some say the choir appears before tragedies. Others believe it as a remnant of ancient rituals performed by tribes that vanished long before Russia even existed. And a few insist that the voices belong to those who died in the snow. Travelers who never reached their destination. Lost souls whose final breath froze in the air and continues to echo across the centuries. A haunting idea, but one that locals swear is true. Because sometimes, after a storm, they find perfectly preserved footprints leading deep into the tundra, with none returning. Scientists returned several times, placing microphones, sensors, thermal cameras. Each time the same anomaly. The choir would appear on audio but never on video, never on thermal scans, never as a measurable vibration. Just a sound without a body, a voice without a source, as if the earth itself was singing. And here's the strangest part. The melody always matches the same pattern. No matter the year, no matter the storm, no matter the equipment, the same notes, the same eerie rise, the same quiet fall at the end. Like a message. Like someone repeating something over and over, trying desperately to be heard. People who have listened to the raw recordings say the same thing. The sound makes you feel watched. Not threatened, just observed, like something ancient is curious about you. As if, for a moment, you aren't alone in the snow. As if something just at the edge of sight is standing there, silent, waiting. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe the choir isn't a warning, or a memory, or a haunting. Maybe it's an invitation. A voice calling from a place humans were never meant to explore. A reminder that even in the silence of Siberia, Something else is listening. Something that sings. Something that waits.